Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine someone who never went to culinary school, started her career behind a candy counter at Macy's.
Right.
Yet somehow built this food empire worth over $100 million. And get this, even professional, like Michelin-starred chefs respect her deeply. How does that even happen?
It's an incredible story, really. And it's all about Rachael Ray. You've kind of hit on the core of it there. She's not a trained chef, never got a culinary degree, and she certainly never worked in one of those high-end kitchens. Yet her empire today, it spans cookbooks, TV shows, cookware, pet food, pantry staples. It's huge, valued at over $100 million.
Wow.
So it's more than just, a food story. It's really a blueprint for redefining influence and earning massive respect without those traditional credentials.
Absolutely. So today we're taking a deep dive into the mindset, the decisions, the maybe emotional strategies behind Rachael Ray's incredible rise.
Yeah.
From that Macy's candy counter all the way to becoming the face of convenience-driven cuisine in America. And I think most importantly, how she built this massive business empire without ever calling herself a chef.
Exactly.
So when you look at Rachael Ray's beginnings, she didn't start with, a fancy kitchen or a big inheritance.
Yeah.
What she did have was a clock.
Yeah, the clock.
And a really simple question. What can I cook in 30 minutes without losing my whole evening? What was it about that specific question? How did that tap into such a profound financial truth that maybe more traditional chefs missed?
Well, that question pretty much became her life's work because it revealed something crucial. Convenience. Well, convenience is currency.
Okay.
Her big breakthrough, 30-minute meals, it didn't even start as a TV show. It was actually just these local workshops she did in upstate New York back in '99.
Just local.
Yeah, she was managing a gourmet food shop then, and she saw customers rushing in, just desperate for dinner ideas after work.
Yeah, I can picture that.
She realized she wasn't just teaching recipes. She was offering them something they really craved, which was time with their families.
Time, right?
That core insight freedom, not just food that became the foundation for everything. Her first cookbook sold over 10,000 copies in 2 weeks.
Wow, 2 weeks.
And that got the attention of Food Network.
Yeah.
Suddenly, 2001, she had a national audience.
And what's really striking is how, even as she got more and more famous, her message never really changed, did it?
No, never.
She consistently said, I'm not a chef, I'm just a cook, helping people get back to the table. And while, critics might have scoffed,
Oh, they did.
the market spoke loud and clear. Their wallets. Between 2001 and 2005, what was it, 12 best-selling cookbooks?
12, yeah, it was huge.
And then the brand just kept expanding. Cookware, kitchenware, even frozen meals, all built on that same idea.
Yeah.
You don't need fancy skills, you just need simplicity.
Exactly.
This was her mass-scale intimacy idea, right? She understood that, the real luxury today is time.
That's it.
So when people bought her EVO bottle or her nonstick pan or that microwave lasagna, they weren't just buying stuff. They were buying minutes back.
Yeah, buying back minutes. That's a great way to put it.
And you even see this with her huge pet food brand, Nutrish. It was also about fast, familiar, emotionally comforting.
What's so striking here is that her whole financial approach, it wasn't about luxury items or being exclusive. It was about solving that invisible stress, the 6:30 p.m. panic, the burnt-out mom, the overworked dad trying to figure out dinner.
Yeah, that feeling.
By addressing that really common, everyday pain point, she built something way bigger than just a culinary brand. She kind of built a movement. And the subtle lesson, I think, hiding right there is, in this busy world we live in, the greatest financial value, it often lies in whatever gives people their lives back.
That makes so much sense. And it's fascinating how those financial insights then translated into her career strategy. Because she didn't exactly have a grand plan, right?
Not at all.
Started at a Macy's cheese counter, then managed that gourmet food shop. How did that sort of instinctive step-by-step thing, just one small pivot at a time, lead to this massive national platform?
You're absolutely right. There was no detailed 5-year plan. The big risk she took early on was offering those 30-minute meals classes for free.
For free? Wow.
Yeah. And that just sparked a ripple effect. First a local TV segment, then a regular spot, and then bam, Food Network calls in 2001.
Right.
So at 33, with basically zero TV experience.
Zero.
She becomes this national personality, and her on-screen style was, It was everything. All her quirks, talking fast, not measuring spices.
Yeah, the dump and stir thing.
Exactly. It made her incredibly relatable. Viewers didn't just follow her recipes, they felt seen by her. She wasn't some expert way up high. She was one of them. Her rise between, say, 2001 and 2006 was just meteoric, really fast.
But it wasn't just random luck, was it? It seems like there was this silent but sharp strategy underneath. When 30-minute meals blew up, she didn't just jump to the next new idea.
No, she doubled down.
Right. She built systems around what was already working, expanded into books, branded cookware, magazine columns, those spin-off shows like $40 a day.
Yeah, $40 a day.
And eventually her own incredibly successful daytime talk show, Rachael Ray, that ran for, 17 seasons? Until 2023.
17 seasons. Incredible longevity.
And that kind of staying power, yeah, that comes from building infrastructure, not just relying on celebrity status.
Absolutely. And the bigger picture here is how her whole brand engine just ran on familiarity. Her products, not for pro chefs, they were for busy parents.
Right.
Her shows weren't about perfection, they were about good enough, but with heart. Her whole business really leaned into this idea of scale without sophistication.
Scale without sophistication. I like that.
What makes her career path so remarkable isn't just how fast she rose, but the compounding power of all those small, maybe seemingly small decisions she made. Every free class, every TV spot, every product line, it all stacked up, turning instinct into a real enterprise. And that strategy, it's earned her a personal net worth of over $100 million.
Right.
So the quiet takeaway is, you don't need to start huge. But if you act on your gut and you build systems around what actually works, you just might never stop growing.
Okay, so beyond the strategy and the money side, what about her day-to-day operating system? Because if there's one thing Rachael Ray absolutely nailed, it's making success repeatable.
Yes.
Behind that relaxed vibe and the, spontaneous energy on screen, there's what we're calling the home power empire model. Her unpolished style. That wasn't an accident, was it? It felt intentional.
Completely intentional. It was about mastering repeatability, maybe even more than recipes.
No.
Think about her brand anchors, like EVOO for extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, yeah, EVOO, everyone knows that.
Right, and Yummo and her GB, the garbage bowl. These weren't just cute little catchphrases. They became a sort of language for her tribe.
A language, yeah.
They even named products after them. It created this real sense of belonging. And her creative process, it wasn't about some grand culinary invention. It was about iteration. Tweaking.
Iteration, okay.
For years, she personally tested every single recipe in her own home kitchen, refining them not for culinary awards, but for accessibility.
Right.
Her key test was always, could a tired mom make this after work and still smile?
That's a good test.
If the answer was yes, it was in. If not, it was out. Simple as that.
And this sort of home-first thinking even stretched into her big business moves. Like Rachael Ray Nutrish, that premium dog food line from 2008.
Yeah, Nutrish.
It wasn't just some random leap into a new market, right? It came directly from her personal life, her love for her pit bull, Isabu.
Exactly. She'd often cook meat and rice for Isabu right there during show tapings. The audience saw it. They started asking about it.
Really?
On the show.
Yeah. So she basically just bottled that habit, found a partner in Ainsworth Pet Nutrition, and boom, built a $100 million plus pet food empire.
Just like that, bottled the habit. And this really shows this unique system she had, turning habits into what you might call scalable intimacy.
Scalable intimacy.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. How many brands can say they built a massive pet food line where all the proceeds went to animal welfare foundations?
The all proceeds.
Her personal proceeds, yes. Donated entirely. She didn't invent some revolutionary new cuisine. She turned her everyday quirks, her personal habits into these touch points of emotional trust. And then she monetized them, but with incredible compassion and consistency. The lesson there is, I think, pretty profound. You don't have to be totally groundbreaking. You just need to be grounded.
Grounded, yeah.
And consistent enough to let the market come find you.
Her whole life philosophy seems to be maybe her most underrated advantage. Just her refusal to pretend.
Absolutely.
In a media world that's so obsessed with polish and, gourmet perfection. She just showed up, burned toast, spices flying everywhere, voice cracking from laughing.
Totally unscripted sometimes.
And she was always up front. I'm not a chef. I'm not even a professional cook. I'm just someone who wants to help. How did that kind of radical honesty free her up and connect her with so many people?
Well, that simple self-definition, it just completely freed her from all those expectations, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did.
And at the same time, it instantly connected her to millions of viewers who probably always felt a bit excluded by that world of perfect food.
Like it wasn't for them.
Exactly. While other Food Network stars were maybe silent, precise, focused on technique, Rachael was over there tossing pasta while talking about her mom.
Yeah.
She wasn't just giving cooking lessons, she was sharing moments. And that became her emotional signature. And this wasn't just for the cameras either. It was deeply personal, especially when things got tough.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, remember August 2020, middle of the pandemic.
Fire, yeah.
She and her husband lost their entire home in upstate New York to a fire. Everything.
Yeah.
Gone. And yet, just weeks later, she was back. Filming new episodes in a guest house kitchen, still smiling, still cooking for people who maybe didn't have much to smile about themselves.
Incredible resilience.
She didn't, dramatize her pain for views. She just used it to connect, not collapse.
And that same year, she was actually launching more charity initiatives through her Yummo Foundation and her pet rescue programs.
While dealing with all that.
Yeah. Her message was crystal clear. Life doesn't wait for you to be perfect. You just show up with what you've got, flaws and all. And that radical realness, it made her not just someone you watch, but someone you could deeply relate to, almost on a soul level.
Yeah.
So while other celebrity chefs maybe built their brands on precision and perfection, Rachael built hers on presence. Just being there, being real.
That's powerful.
The deeper truth is, I think, in a world that just celebrates polish all the time, there's this kind of untouchable power in just being radically human.
So, building on that trust, that realness, her next big move in 2008, launching Nutrish, the dog food brand. It surprised a lot of people then.
It did seem like a left turn to some.
But if you really understood her brand, it kind of made sense, didn't it? It was just a logical extension of that emotional power she had.
Yeah.
What was it about trust that let her scale her influence way beyond the kitchen into totally new industries?
Well, her audience, they didn't just cook her recipes, they believed her. They trusted her judgment, her values.
Okay.
So when she started talking about cooking real meals for her dog, Isabu, and said she wanted to create a food line with real meat, no fillers, no byproducts, people listened.
He trusted her on that too.
They did. She partnered up to launch Nutrish in 2008, and it was basically an instant hit. By 2014, it was doing over $100 million a year in retail sales.
$100 million, wow.
And then in 2018, the brand was acquired by J.M. Smucker Company in this huge deal, $1.9 billion. And a big chunk of that valuation was directly tied to Nutrish's growth.
And the crucial part, like you mentioned before, she didn't just pocket all her profits from Nutrish.
No, not her personal share.
Every dollar she earned went to her animal rescue foundation, Rachael's Rescue. That move. It wasn't just good PR, was it? It seemed to multiply her influence in a way that just making more money never could have.
Absolutely. What's really illuminating here is seeing that expansion, first pet food, then home goods, bedding, kitchen tools, even studio ownership later on.
It revealed something much deeper.
Which was?
Rachael Ray was never just building a cooking brand. She was building a trust economy.
A trust economy. Interesting.
Yeah, powered by this deep emotional alignment with her audience. Her empire wasn't limited by one industry. It kind of spanned every area where her audience felt they maybe emotionally needed help or guidance. And that's where her real power lies, I think. While traditional chefs were busy building reputations in fancy restaurants, Rachael's was building relationships in people's living rooms.
Yeah, that makes sense. She understood that power isn't just about titles or fancy techniques. It's about proximity, being close to people's daily decisions.
Right.
And when she earned that space, she didn't use it to dominate. She used it to serve, but at a massive scale.
Serve at scale.
The quiet truth here is that influence today, it doesn't just come from mastering one specific thing. It comes from earning permission to walk with your audience into new parts of their lives and then honoring that trust like it's gold.
Okay, so for someone whose whole public image was kind of built on routine, 30-minute meals, consistency, Rachael Ray actually has this surprising superpower, reinvention.
She really does. It's key.
It shows that relevance isn't something you just preserve. You have to re-earn it again and again. How did she manage to pivot so successfully, time after time?
You're absolutely right. I mean, look at the end of her iconic daytime show in 2023. After 17 seasons, over 3,000 episodes, that could easily have been the quiet end of her public career.
Could have been, yeah.
Instead, for her, it became the next launch pad. That very same year, she co-founded Free Food Studios, a new production company focused on making culinary content for digital, for streaming, all the new platforms.
Ah, so shifting behind the camera more.
Exactly. This wasn't just her adapting to where eyeballs were moving. It was fundamentally changing her position in the whole game. She went from being the talent to actually owning the content engine itself.
And thinking back, this wasn't her first big reinvention, was it? Her whole career feels like a series of these pivots.
Totally. When the cookbook market started to cool off a bit, she leaned harder into kitchenware.
Right, the pots and pans.
When Food Network got saturated with all those intense cooking competitions, she moved into lifestyle and the talk show format. When people started treating their pets less like pets and more like free family members.
She went into animal nutrition with Nutrish.
Exactly. At every single turning point, she didn't seem to fight the current. She just sort of rode it with a brand that could flex but never really seemed to crack.
So what allowed her to do that, to make those transitions look almost easy?
Stepping back, I think what made it all possible wasn't just sharp business sense. It was incredible identity clarity.
Identity clarity. Okay.
Rachael Ray never let herself get boxed into just the chef label or even just the TV host label. She never anchored her entire brand to one single medium.
She stood for something broader.
Much broader. Things like emotional ease, everyday trust, practical optimism, that fundamental clarity about who she was and what she stood for. That gave her the freedom to exit one stage gracefully and then re-enter another one powerfully, whatever the platform was. The deep takeaway there is pretty clear, I think. Longevity isn't about just staying the same. It's about being willing to shed what worked yesterday.
Even if it worked really well.
Especially then. Shedding that to become what the world needs from you tomorrow.
So, wrapping this all up, what does this incredible story really mean for you listening right now? Rachael Ray didn't win by being the quote-unquote best in that traditional culinary way.
No.
She won by being undeniably needed. In a world obsessed with gourmet skills and Michelin stars, she just dared to build an empire on 3 really radical ideas. Quick fast, show up flawed, and never ever fake it.
Yeah.
And somehow, without the degree, without the restaurant background, without even calling herself chef, she built this $100 million brand that now touches our kitchens, our grocery carts, our pet stores, even our streaming queues.
But maybe more than the money, Rachael built something much rarer, I think. Respect. Even from the very people who might have doubted her at the start.
Yeah, that's huge.
And not because she changed to fit their mold, but because she succeeded by digging deeper into her own mold.
Yeah.
That's what makes her story so powerful, isn't it? She didn't just bend the rules, she kind of rewrote what value even means in the food world. She proved that real impact isn't always about complexity. Sometimes it's just about consistency of care.
Consistency of care.
Her story reminds us that greatness isn't always loud or flashy. Sometimes it just shows up looking like a woman, chopping onions in her own kitchen, talking directly to millions, and making them feel like, maybe for the first time, they belong at the table again.
The hidden truth here. You don't need anyone's permission to be powerful. You just need to serve with such emotional clarity that the world simply can't look away. So maybe you've been told you're not qualified enough, not polished enough, not quite ready. Perhaps you look at others with more credentials, more connections, maybe more confidence, and you wonder if your version of success could ever be enough.
We all feel that sometime.
We do. But what if? What if your biggest perceived disadvantage is actually your gateway? Rachael Ray turned her lack of traditional training into this incredible trust-based empire. Not by pretending to be something she wasn't, but by owning what she was so completely, so fully that no one could ignore it.
Own it.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. What do you already do with heart, with ease, maybe with a little bit of imperfection that the world might just be quietly waiting for? Think about how Rachael Ray owned her truth and built something deeply lasting from it. Maybe your imperfect beginning holds the seeds of something truly profound.